I am focused, serving hope to the hopeless, while living against the odds. I'm from the mud, the dirt of society, and that created this driving me to help the whole world that's living against the odds. I know some of you are struggling and probably pissed at God. I was too, but I realized nothing happened to me, it happened for me. Here to tell the story of everyone that's living against the odds. My parents did the best they could, but I felt like I wasn't loved in my childhood. Made bad decisions which paved the way, but I had to go through it to grow through it so I can serve the world today. Suffered anxiety and drug abuse. Mentally now right, a couple screws were loose and still are, but I learned how to handle it. Realized I'll never get rid of it, so I had to channel it for good. I'll always be an addict, but now I am addicted to all this hope I give to you. Yo, I'm living proof that if you change your mind, you can change your life. Rest in peace to the old me, cause he had to die. I am redeemed, sober, recovered, clean. I ain't give it up, just had to switch it up the way I fiend. Now I fiend for the opposite on a positive level. Two middle fingers up, looking at the devil. What's up? Against the odds. More than ever in my life, I am focused, serving hope to the hopeless, while living against the odds. I'm from the mud, the dirt of society, and that created this driving me to help the whole world that's living against the odds. I know some of you are struggling and probably pissed at God. I was too, but I realized nothing happened to me, it happened for me. Here to tell the story of everyone that's living against the odds.
Yo, 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 yo. What up, what up, what up? Saturday Night Live is back. What an excellent night to be going live, sharing hope and inspiration. Thank you guys for tuning in to our first broadcast in a quite some time, right? We haven't been broadcasting with another person, with a special guest in a few months, and I've gotten a lot of messages, and we're launching tonight with a story of hope and inspiration. Tonight we have a special guest on. He's behind the scenes right now. He is waiting to get pulled up. This is a personal friend of mine, someone that I used to get high with, someone that I did dirty, someone that I have forgiven, someone that has been involved in my life for over 15 years. This brother, I am so proud of him. He is a miracle. And God has a plan for his life, and that's why he's here to tell you all about it. Because he knows what it's like to live against the odds. And so do many of you. And thank you guys for tuning in to this Saturday Night Live special with my boy, Richie Whaley. Please, if you haven't yet, do me a solid. Share this live. Share this live on your personal page. Share this live in recovery groups. Share this live wherever you want to share this live. I would love to get reach out there because Richie's story might touch someone to change their life, right? So, thank you guys for tuning in. We have a special guest today. I'm going to be bringing him up real soon. This is a personal friend of mine. I am going to repeat myself because I'm seeing multiple people come on. I am very excited to announce that Richie is backstage, ready to come up and share his experience, his strength, and his hope with us. He celebrated 9 months of sobriety. Yesterday, we celebrated his story. Today, we're going to celebrate his story live and in person, kind of on digital media, right? Today, we are going to spread his hope to the hopeless. Without further ado, we will bring on my friend, my brother, who I am very proud of. Welcome, Richard Whaley. What up, brother?
Hello, everybody. I just want to thank everybody for coming out, tuning in, listening to my story. It's got a lot of tragedy, but it's got a lot of hope too, and more hope than tragedy. God allowed things to happen in my life that brought me to where I am today, and I'm just grateful. Done 12 years in prison, lots of times in treatments, sober houses, halfway houses, addiction, just mental health, everything. I've been through it, but God, I went through it, but God is going to use my tragedy into blessings to help others, and He's going to take my mess and He's going to make me a blessing to people, and I don't know. I just really hope that this touches somebody's life, and that if anybody's struggling out there, there's a chance, because I gave up on myself, but God never gave up on me, and He showed me His love, and that's what I just want to share tonight.
Amen, brother. We are so excited to have you on, because as we know, brother, me and you go back. We go back like Webby and Boosie. And those of you that know, that are watching, y'all know what's up, man. Throw a heart on this. Straight up. Me and this guy go back long time. We've influenced a lot of negative things in our life. It is such an honor to be able to come on here and share some hope with you guys, that you can hear someone else's story of encouragement that has came from hopelessness. It's a gift to be hopeless and to find the way. Right, Richie?
Yes.
So let's just start off like this, brother. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you grew up at first, maybe the first time you were introduced to drugs, and how maybe that was influenced in your life at a young age, and how you were feeling and things like that? Because I know people want to hear your hope, brother. So let's get started.
All right. Well, I grew up in Inver Grove Heights. I'm a Simile Spartan, but no, I grew up in a loving family. My mom and my dad loved me very much. My dad struggled with addiction. When I was growing up, I didn't really know what it was at the time, but I had 3 older brothers and an older sister that I really looked up to. I was like 4 years younger than my closest sibling, and my oldest is like 10 years older than me. So it's like there's a gap, and I know that, like, growing up, I was in special classes. I had speech therapy. And kids could be cruel. I got made fun of a lot and stuff like that. But I accepted it. That's why I acted out, because I wanted some attention. I figured if they were laughing with me, they can't laugh at me. But I know that I knew who I was. Like, my mom told me every single day, like, how much she loved me and how proud she was of me, and my dad did too. And my brothers gave me a hard time. But I knew they loved me. That's just what brothers do. And I was pretty close to my sister too. But like, once I got to a certain age, like probably 10 years old, I think, like 5th, 6th grade, they started being older, high school. I was just starting middle school. They're in high school. Some were even graduated. So so I didn't really have. They were doing their own thing. So I got made fun of a lot. I had trouble organization skills. So like, I was in, like, I was placed in special classes in school. It just, so I had learning disability and stuff like that. And so I remember my first time using, I was summer school, 6th grade. I went with some people in the woods or whatever, and I got introduced to marijuana, and I fell in love. They accepted me, the people that gave it to me, and it got me. It was like my escape. So I was doing that, and like, being the youngest of 5, my basically, like, you know, like my parents got a little lenient, you know, after a while, you know, because and they were working really hard to maintain. We didn't have too much money, so I'd sneak out of the house and stuff like that. But you know, and then I remember being high on weed. I didn't drink at the time, but like I got like 14 years or 15 years old. I got my first felony. Like being a few of my friends were in a house that was up for sale, and nobody was living in it. We thought we'd go there and get high. People, you know, like my friends trashed the house. And then the neighbor kid told on us, and you know, I that was my first introduced to, like, the court system. I've been on probation ever since. You know, 14 years old. I'm 39 on Monday, so that's 20. That's a life sentence on probation. I'm still on it. I got a year and a half left, but I don't know. Like after a while, like I don't know. I was lost. I always got like people picked on me a lot, you know, and I accepted it. I think it was the way I talked or whatever, you know. But you know, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I'd go to parties and stuff, like, and I'd try to just fit in any way I can. And I got introduced. I remember the first time I did meth. I was like 16 years old. It was the day before I was supposed to get fitted for my brother's wedding for a tux, because I was into a wedding, and I got high the night before. The next morning, I go home after staying up all night. My dad looked me in the eye. The first thing he said to me is like, "You're on meth." I was like, "Oh!" My heart dropped, you know, and I was ashamed. So they all went to go get fitted, and I had my buddies who were 16. You know, they had their license. They brought me to the Mall of America, and I told them. I know they didn't do it at the time, but like I told them what I did, and they left me there. They like literally just left me there. So I was alone, like, and it was tough. Like I was balling. I was at the Mall of America, 16 years old, no cell phone, no nothing. Left there by my so-called buddies because I wanted to be honest with them. And after that, it was just a turn for the worse. I just started getting high just to numb anything, you know, and you know, I went through a lot, and I don't really, you know, I don't want to. It was my decisions, but you know, I was messed up. But then I went with what was comfortable. You know, I did my, you know, I went to juvenile hall. You know, I remember the first time going to juvie, after violating and stuff, and like my first time in the cell, like I asked the guard, I was like, "Can I go home now?" You know, like I'm like, I learned my lesson. They laughed at me, you know, because you know, and I ended up doing some time. But then after a while, it got comfortable for me. It wasn't, you know, it was sad, but it made, like, jails aren't what, you know, they're cracked up to be. They're not really, I don't know, like it's crazy we can get comfortable with. And I was, and you know, and I spent a lot of my time like in and out of jail, in and out of treatment, trying to get right, but I didn't know how. Like I knew, like, my grandmother knew God very well, and you know, I didn't understand what it meant. Like I knew there was something out there, but I wasn't sure what it was. But then, like, I don't know, in high school was rough. Like I dropped out of school. Like we sold our house in Denver Grove, and like I remember it was like a pinnacle moment when I went home, and I went there, and every single room in my house was packed up, and the moving truck was leaving the driveway, and I walk in, and my room was still set up. Like I didn't even know we were moving. I didn't know I was on a bender for like 2 weeks. I didn't know. I knew we were supposed to move, but I wasn't sure when. And that hit me. That hit home. I was like, wow, like I'm lost. Like I didn't know. And I tried to get help, and this is like, and I was just struggling in and out. But I know that, you know, I couldn't. I didn't know what it looked like, and I know. So I got into treatment of like 2005. And it was at ADAP, and I, you know, and I got out, and I was doing good. I had like 4 or 5 months sober. Had a job. You know, I was, you know, relationships starting to get mended and stuff like that. And then I got, you know, it was a tragic accident. I was working at the Point gas station in Hastings. You know, I was filling a propane tank. I get my nose bit off by a dog. Then I was like, you know, it was crazy. And I got put on some pain pills, which triggered me to go back to my drug of choice, and I fell off again, and you know, and I was lost for like, you know, in and out of jail, you know, catching charges and all this stuff, like, and that's when I was like, I think that's when I was hanging out with Phil a lot, you know, and like we're both lost, you know. He actually, you know, like we have a long history, and like, I mean, it's crazy to watch where he's at now, but he inspires me a lot. Well, like, yeah, I was in and out, just I don't know, like, and then 2000. So I got this settlement from my dog bite. Like, I got a lump sum of money, and that's, I remember my mom telling me, like, when you get this money, let me come with you, because like, it's dangerous having an addict have that much money. And I didn't bring her. I called my friend, and we went and got the money, and I instantly thought I was big balling, bought a Cadillac, bought all this stuff, and a bunch of clothes, a bunch of dope, and all this stuff. Like, just stuff that like meant nothing. Like, I could have that money could have really. My mom really wanted me to change my life with it, and I spent it, and I ended up. But God taught me a lesson. I ended up in jail a week later, facing second-degree charges. But God really spoke to me that time, because I bailed out. I had the money to bail out. I went to Teen Challenge. I remember I was scared going to Teen Challenge. I remember going to intake, and I look over and I see my buddy Mike King. Like, I know him, and I look at him, I'm like, okay, and he looked at me, and we're like both trying to seek help. And I went there, and like, I didn't know. I went there to try to get out of a jail sentence, honestly. Like, that's the whole reason why I went there. I'm not gonna lie, but God had a different plan. He was planting seeds that whole time. I actually graduated 13 months Teen Challenge. I did 60 days down in the cities, and I went up to Duluth for the rest of the life care. Like I wasn't really digging into God. Like I said, I was trying to get out of the sentence, but God's seeds were getting planted left and right. Like, during that time, I got my GED. I got to walk with the graduating class of 2010 Duluth ALC. Like, Teen Challenge sang at the graduation, so it wasn't not only a cap and gown ceremony. Like, Teen Challenge was there, so when they called my name, I was like, I had a bigger eruption than like the people that actually went to school. So it was like my own graduation. That's what my mom always wanted. I always wanted it. God provided that. Like, I started going to college. I had my own apartment. I had I had a vehicle. Everything was going pretty good. And then I got in the college scene, and I thought I could party a little bit. And God showed me, like, my first time I partied, I got a DUI, violated, because they gave me 84 months stayed over my head, and 40 years probation. 40. People didn't believe me, but I showed them paper. 40 years paper they gave me, and 84 months. But my first violation, they sent me to the prison. I went there, and God really, he showed, but I look back on it, and he saved me, really, because I would have not, I don't know, so I'd probably be dead or something right now, overdosed or something. It would be a lot worse. And I'm just grateful that God allowed things to happen. I didn't see it at the time, but I see it now. During that time in prison, like, it was tragic. I lost my mom. My mom never did dope in her whole life or nothing. She had some kind of rotator cuff surgery. She got hooked on pain pills, and she, and I remember being on, because I was out on, my buddy Sean Gibson let me stay at his house for boot camp ISR, and I remember the first time my dad had a stroke. My mom picked me up, and I seen my mom, like, nodding out, like, I could tell she was on. It was the first time I ever seen her, like, on dope, like, and everything, like, that she went through. Like, watching me, like, I felt her pain the first time. Like, I seen it. Like, there's nothing I could do for her. She was nodding in and out. Like, I just, somebody that you love so much that you just can't do nothing. And it was tough. But then I was doing so good, but I wasn't working a program again. Like, I didn't seek God. I ended up getting in a fight with my buddy's wife, and, like, she wanted me out of the house, but for good reason. I see it now. Like, I wasn't, like, following ISR, and she, like, was nice enough to let me stay at her house. I wasn't following their instructions, and and I ended up going to a DOC house. And I ended up getting violated. I did some things but I didn't get caught for. But, like, the only thing I got caught for, they sent me back, which and I went back, and during that time when I went back, I lost my mother. My mother, she overdosed on methadone. My dad, her and my dad got like 100 milligram vial, and they split it, and my mom never woke up. My dad got charged with first-degree reckless homicide. It was terrible. Like, I was in prison. I got that phone call that my mom was gone, and my dad was in jail for it. It was like the worst day of my life. I didn't know what to do. I was lost in prison. And then like I had to do the rest of my time. And I remember talking to my dad. The first thing I said to him was, it's not your fault. And he started bawling, and he's like, I needed to hear that because he felt so responsible. I know addiction. It's like we can't. Sometimes we do things we don't want to do, and it's nobody's fault. But we got to blame it on the addiction, not the people. It's not the people. We don't want that. It's the addiction that just takes over us. And yeah, so like during that time, like me being in, like I really didn't deal with the grief. I didn't know how to deal with it. I was in prison. You got to put on this tough guy persona. You can't really get vulnerable in there really. And they over medicated me and everything. And but me and my dad got really close during that time. Like our relationship, like really, and I was just glad. Like, he really stepped up. Came to visit me all the time, and like when I got out, I'm gonna share some stuff. So I got out. It was like I got out. I think it was December 28th of 2015. I finally got out of prison, and then I went to a friend's house. And then instantly relapsed because I didn't deal with the old emotions or nothing. Promised my nieces and stuff that like I'd come see them and stuff like that. Didn't even go see them. Like instantly, like I got high, and it was like I got out on the 28th. I was high by New Year's Eve. It was like the enemy was setting me up, But I made the choice. I was sober. Like my brothers used to get mad at me because they're like, "You were sober that long and you get out. It's no longer addiction. It's a choice." And I get it, but like the addiction never went away when I was in there. Like it was doing push-ups in the parking lot, just waiting, scheming. It was the enemy trying to get wanting me back, and and then I ended up violating probation. I turned myself in, because I knew I had a warrant, and then they gave me 90 days, and then I got out like the day after my dad's birthday, and then I relapsed again. Like I was a chronic relapser. I couldn't get it to right because I never dealt with my emotions. I never did. I didn't know. Like I knew the concept of God, and I knew like through Teen Challenge, but I never really dug into them ever, never. And I know, and I'd always blame other things, but like it was, in reality, it was my fault. I made my own decisions. But like, so when I was out there using, I had DOC warrants. I get a phone call that my dad fell and hit. Like he was drunk and intoxicated, and he fell and hit his head and went into a coma. And I don't know. I was sitting there sticking a needle in my arm, like seriously, and like I was with people, and people didn't want me to. I had a big bag of dope in my pocket, so nobody wanted me to like they were telling me like, oh, if you go to the hospital and visit them, that they'd arrest you. They're gonna run your name and you're gonna get arrested and stuff like that. So I didn't go. My dad held on for a week. I didn't go see him. He died. I believe in my heart that he was holding on for me to come see him, but I made the dumb choice and I didn't go see him, and that's still a tough pill for me to swallow because he held on. And I even missed his funeral because I had warrants and people got in my ear, but I should have listened to my gut and not other people. But I get it with the addiction. People, and now I look at it, like I didn't want my family to see me like that. Like they'd even like that was right when I started shooting up, and I was messed up. I was not in my right mind, and like so I missed my mother's. Well, I got to go to my mother's funeral when I was in prison, escorted by 2 guards and by myself. I wasn't with family. So my dad, I missed his, but God again, like 2 days later after his funeral, I get arrested on a 3rd-degree possession, over in Hampton. And I went and did like another bit, and I got out, and during this time I was lost. I didn't have my mom or dad. My brother really stepped up and helped me. And my family really did step up. But when I got out, I did what I always do. I didn't deal with the trauma. But I don't know, like, so this, I just want to fast forward to like, so it was like, I remember it was when my life really started to change. It was June 9th of 2020. I was living at my buddy PJ's house. Like, we went through a lot of, like I was living there with him and his 2 kids. And during that time, it was during COVID. I had nowhere to go. I fell asleep on his back porch. It was in March or something. And And he comes up in the morning, it's freezing out. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Dude, if you come in, there's like this is when nobody knew what COVID really was or nothing. Like, if you come in, you can't leave." He took me in like a brother, like he did, and I'm grateful. Like he let me stay there, and like I got to know his kids. Blake and Ella, they were 3 and 4 at the time, and like me and PJ, like we knew each other, but we never really. But that's like we knew each other in boot camp and stuff. But I was always paranoid of them. I don't know. I was paranoid of everybody, but but like he like took me in, and then some trauma came, happened when I was getting better, and um yeah, something really bad happened. His baby mama ended up passing away, and and I didn't know I didn't know how to deal with it, so I went and got high, but anyway, I was still living at his house, but then he called me like, "Dude, you gotta be here with me," and I went there, and like I was staying there again, and then I remember June 9th, I was getting dropped off by a friend, and my buddy Chad, he's the one of the co-founders of Rise Up Recovery. Wasn't a thing at the time, but like he called me like, "Dude, you look like the Walking Dead," and he's like, "Can I come over and pray for you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He came over and he prayed for me in the back of PJ's house, and he's like, "Are you ready?" He's like, "I can get you into." He's like, "There's this awesome treatment counselor at Faith Family, and I can get you there the next day. It's called Boss Place. It's the new thing. It's awesome, and I'm like, yeah, and the next day came, and of course, like there's a really small window like of opportunity, and the next day I didn't want to go. I dope on me. I made up every excuse in the book why I didn't want to go.
Of course.
And but he he's like, "Well, whatever you got to do, I'm gonna help you do it because we're gonna get you to the thing." I was like, "Oh, like this guy, I can't shake this guy, like." And he honestly, like he brought me over to Bob's place, helped me do everything I had to do, and then like I remember like God touched me at that place like no other. Like I really Chad was like the people I met there, just people loving on me. I remember the first time I was like, okay, I'm gonna give, I'm really gonna. I gave my like I got on my knees at Bob's place and I started crying. And I was like, "God, why can't I feel loved? Why can't I do this? Like why can't I just begging God, like asking him, why can't I be loved?" And the next day, like the next morning, literally my buddy PJ, he said Ella woke up early in the morning. That's his daughter, his 4-year-old daughter, said, "We got to go see Rich." Like early in the morning, like, first thing out of her mouth. And they came and visited me, during the lunch break or whatever, and Ella runs up to me and she like hugs me and she like tells me, she's like, "Richie, I love you and I think about you every day." Like I started bawling because I was like on my knees the night before asking God to show me his love, and he did it to this little girl, like this little girl that had so like just lost her mother, that is going through so much, and she loved on me, like, and that's exactly what I needed. After that, I just started like just really digging into scripture, digging into God, like seeing who God really is. I wanted a relationship. I wanted to know who this person is that loves me so much that he would do that. And things started to change, and I started getting stuff. Like God started, like, he gave me a job. He gave me like a bunch of people in my life that loved me, that cared about me, that wanted me to succeed. Like I've never, I've had people, but I've never been loved on like that in my life. And those God's love working through these people. Like Phil would come visit me, and it turned like, and then the treatment counselor I had was Tiffany. Man, she's the other co-founder of Rise Up, and I'm telling you, like, she let me, like, I didn't tell anybody about the dad thing until I said it in group one day. I just felt led by the Spirit to get that to get that out, because I was holding that in. That was keeping me sick. These secrets that I was keeping, like, I'd tell people that I was in jail when my dad died. No, that wasn't true. I was messed up with a needle in my arm. Like I didn't, I kept that a secret. My family knew, but like they didn't know about the needle part, but they knew I was messed up, but nobody else did. I was keeping it in. And I really, like, she got me to really confess some stuff. I went to go see mental health therapy, talked about some things I really don't want to get into. I don't feel comfortable right now, but sexual stuff in my past, and it's that nobody even still to this day. I shared it with maybe a couple people, but yeah, and it's just I don't. God started opening up doors, but gave me I believe that He gave me this girl that I truly loved her, and I believe she loved me, but I started pushing things around, I started put moving too fast, not on His timing. I took my time back, I took my will back, and then everything blew up in my face, and God showed I was sober 5 months, doing awesome, and then this relationship I probably wasn't ready for, it didn't go the way I wanted to do it, and I went back to a relapse. That's when God really allowed, it was the worst relapse ever. I was lost. I didn't want to sell. No, I was just brokenhearted because I knew what God's love felt like, and I was distancing myself from Him. But God put these people in my life. I remember I remember going to my treatment counselor's house because Chad ended up marrying my treatment counselor, and they started that rise up. It's just that's a beautiful story as it is, and it's God's story. But I started. I remember I was messed up, and I went over to her house, and I had a knife in my hand because I thought people were after me, and that's when Chad came out, and that's when they called me, or they called Phil, right? And 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, Phil's like, bring them over. We're gonna get them. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, I called Phil, and
you were. Yeah,
I was like, dude, I don't know, I can get into this port rehab. I was destined. I wanted to. I had it set on my mind to go to port rehab up in Duluth. I don't know, that's because that's where I went to Teen Challenge and stuff, and I just wanted to get away. But you can't get away from your problems. God kept on closing that door. I went over there, and and Phil even called to make sure he wasn't going to drive up to Duluth for no reason. And they're like, oh no, we can't get him in. And Phil stayed with me and, allowed me to come into his home, after, because I know we have a long history, but it's just at 11 o'clock at night, he stayed up for me. And my buddy Chad brought me there. It's just the love, and I remember being I was on the verge of it didn't work. I went to Teen Challenge but the enemy struck. I got a crazy voicemail. I don't want to get into it right now, but in my mind, that was I had to leave and I had to go figure it out, and I left. But then more bad stuff started happening. I remember shortly after I left, I had a knife in my hand. I was about to commit suicide, and then I get a message from the same little girl and Blake, the little boy, of them holding my prison picture, saying they love me and they miss me. I had a knife in my hand. I was gonna do it right there, and then I cried myself to sleep because I got the voicemail right. That's God. We're using these kids again. I don't know, they're special in my life. But now I'm telling you, so I was lost, but I got into Bob's place again. They took me back. I don't know why, but they did. They believed in me, and the people there, and God opened up that door for me, and I went back there, and ever since then, I haven't looked back. I struggle. For sure, the enemy's after me because I know, but God working through me is it's amazing. Since I've been back, so I went through the program, right, and then they had me stay on as the overnight guy. I was pretty early in recovery. It was a lot of stress, but I asked for. I was done with treatment. I was like, no, this ain't enough. I asked for 20. They gave me 25 extra sessions because I told them I need it. I want this. I need I can't. This is life or death for me. And I asked for, and then I now I'm part of a church. I'm a secretary at the Monday night NA meeting in Hastings. I attend a Saturday night meeting in Hastings. I go to 3 Bible studies a week, a 5:30 a.m. Bible study on Fridays. I'm dedicated to God. I started focusing on everything that God gave me last time and lost focus on Him. And He allowed me to lose everything. Because I realize it's Him that's given me everything. It's nothing I do. It's Him within me, and me just basically trusting in Him. And now, I went to class to be a peer recovery specialist. All I got to do is take the test now. I already got the class done. So I'm part of a church. I worship thing on Thursday. I'm with the worship team. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'm just hanging out for now, but I want to serve. I want to start giving back. Because I know I took a lot from the community, a lot of money and just just everything, just I've hurt a lot of people by giving them dope and everything. I don't want to live that way no more. I know, like, I cry every day. Like, God touches me, like, every day. I go to him and I ask him, like, the enemy came at me big time. Like, I severed my Achilles tendon 4 months ago, like literally cut it in half. Like, a retaining wall brick fell and cut my Achilles in half. Like, couldn't walk. Like, I was working out every day. I was doing everything before that, playing sober softball for the sober sluggers and like just fellowshipping with all these communities and everything. And I don't know, like, and he allowed this to happen, but he allowed this to happen because usually when I'm like 5 months in, like, I start getting too comfortable. But now with this, I know I have to make my court dates. I got to go to my surgeries, or not my court dates, but my appointments and stuff, because if I don't, it's not going to be good. I might have, like, permanently not be able to walk, or something permanent might happen. So God allowed this to happen to keep focused on him, like, kind of sit me down in a way. Like, and I remember being at, like, going up to my dad's grave, like, on his, I think it was Mother's Day and his birthday fall on the same day. And I asked God, I was like, God, how can I make things right with my parents? Like, how can I mend that relationship? And then instantly he dropped it on my spirit. He's like, did I not put you in prison for that time? If you weren't in prison, you would have never been able to talk to your mom every single day. You wouldn't have been able to write her letters. You wouldn't have been able to have her come see you. You wouldn't have been all that stuff. Like, because when I was there, I talked to her every single day. If I was in my struggling in my addiction, I didn't talk to her at all. So God allowed all that to happen, and it made me feel like he made me feel a lot better, because I know that I didn't. My parents are proud of me. I might it might not been the way I wanted it. Like, I didn't want to go to prison, but God allowed me. Like, I'm grateful that I did go, because if not, I could be dead or even worse off, and I wouldn't have a lot more resentments for not, like, being able to be there and talk to my parents. I really got to know my parents on a personal level when I was locked up, because it was like, I don't know, I look forward to talking to them every day, because I was sober, clear-minded, and, like, really wanted to learn about who they were and everything, because when I was using, I didn't. I was all about it was, but it's the drug. And I hope, like, anybody out there that has parents or anything, or I just beg you to just tell them that you love them, and just like, don't end on a bad note, because, like, you never know what's the last time you're going to see them. Like, God allowed me, like, the night before the night that my mom died, I got on the phone with her and I was talking to her, and, like, she told me how proud of me. I told her how much I loved her. Like, God allowed that to happen. Like, we ended up, like, on a good note. And, like, it'd be hard, like, I just, because they're people, we're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised the next breath. So I just encourage to tell your loved ones that you love them, and if anybody's out there, like, dealing with addiction, like, trust me, like, I was in prison, like before I get out, I would make a plan on how I was going to get more money for my next bit, because that's how that was my life. Like, I was okay with it. I was okay with being in and out of prison my whole life. But God said no. God said, I got a plan for you. And I don't know what that looks like yet, but I know I believe I can touch people that people can't touch. And I don't know, like, I'm not trying to push God on anybody or anything, but just give it, like, for me, that's he saved my life, and I'm really passionate about it because it's personal. And just, if anything, just if you don't believe or whatever, just talk to yourself and just ask whoever is out there, ask the atmosphere, like, tell them what's really on your heart and ask them to fix you, because it's gonna, I believe that it's if the worst that can happen is you're just talking to yourself, right? That's all I can say, because he's listening. I know he listened to my prayers. He showed me through this little girl, and there's nothing like it. I don't know. I got 9 months yesterday. This is the longest I've been sober outside of a facility in my whole life since I started using. My probation
Praise
officer,
God.
like, yeah, it's got, what's that?
I said, praise God for that, bro.
Yeah. I know that. I don't know. I just hope I reach somebody. I mean, I know there's a lot more to my story I don't really want to get into right now, but if you want to, you can message me, whatever, ask me. If you're struggling with anything, I know, trust me, I still struggle when I'm sober, but I got friends I can reach out to. Like, God uses people. like, I don't know, like Phil, like I was struggling. I didn't have a phone. Like he came out and bought me a cell phone. Like who does, like, that's just people that really care. Like, because he knew that I can't, be without one. And he just, I don't know, he brought me some clothes. Like I don't have much right now, and but I've been more happy right now. I've had a lot of I've had $100,000 in my bank account, and this is the most freedom and love or happiness I've had in my whole life. With I don't have much right now, but I know, it's okay. I don't have to have much because God's gonna provide, and that's all that matters. And just having joy in my life is all that matters. And I know there's a lot of people out there right now, like this fentanyl stuff is crazy right now. And I know that there's people out there that lost loved ones and due to addiction, like myself. And man, like, just so I don't know, if like just know that it's anybody that's struggling, there's a better way. That just love on people that are struggling, because that's what we like. When people reach out and stuff, they want to be loved on. Some call it attention seeking, but no, we're addicts. We don't. That's why in the rooms of NA and AA and churches and stuff, you'll never hear so many "I love yous," because we never got them enough growing up in our addiction. We never got. That's why we were so easy to say it, because it feels good to be loved. I'm telling you, it does. And I know, I haven't been in the same room as my family in, like, it was like probably 12 years, but like God provided. It was like the Saturday after Thanksgiving, I got to sit in my room with my whole family, and like I walk in, and it was tough pill for me to swallow when my brothers pointed it to my niece and said, "I told you I have a little brother named Rich." It broke my heart, but like I know, like I just try to look at it positively. At least they didn't have to meet me when I was like that. Now they can meet who I really am in my recovery, and they didn't have to meet me in my addiction, because yeah, I didn't even want to know myself in my addiction. It was pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot more I can say. I probably missed, but I just want to give a shout out to, like, everybody, like the Journey Church that really helped me grow. Rise Up Recovery. I mean, they're amazing. Like what they're gonna do is they're gonna close that gap. All in ministries with Dennis Otto. He's helped me a lot. He's mentored me. His story is great. He's got he's the mayor of Hampton, the meth cook, the prison. Now he's a pastor. That's a God story. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just against the odds. Phil, you're awesome, man. There's so many people. I just want to thank everybody that's been in my corner. Everybody that messaged me this last week, and everybody that's just been rooting for me and loving on me, and just sometimes I give up on myself, but I know God never did, and you guys never did. And so I thank you.
That's right, brother.
Yeah.
Preach. I wanna definitely give a little recap, bro, on your story. You just spit fire. Straight up, man. I'm so proud of you. You almost had me crying multiple times. Why? Because, man, I know you know. We know.
Yeah.
People, look at it. We know. This ain't a game. We know. We've done it. We've walked it. It's bullshit. Walk away from it. Richie, man, you are anointed. You want to know how I know?
Oh.
You want to know how I know?
How you know, Phil?
Every damn time you get busted right away. 2 days later, busted. 1 day later, busted. I got drunk, busted.
Yeah.
Bro, God's got a calling on your life. And if someone told me this sitting at Life for Builders in a Bible study. I gave my story just like you did. I'm going to share this as well. And I've told you this before, and I'll tell you this in front of everybody again, because it's important. When God has a calling on our lives and we continue to make them choices that make that calling or that will not get played out, God might take us next. That's the difference between the then and the now. We know. We've been to the jails. We've been to the institutions. What's next? We know, brother. I dropped you off that day at Teen Challenge. I cried because by the grace of God, there goes I. When I see you back into a treatment center after you left Teen Challenge, I was happy as hell, bro. Because it don't matter how many times we fall. When God's got our back, brother, it's plain and simple. You said it 1,000,000 times in your story. I remember sitting in a county jail, Dakota County, to be exact, and I was facing 57 months in prison with a $60,000 bail. I'm sure you were in there with me too.
Yeah.
And there was a scripture, and I think it was Proverbs 31, somewhere in there. And it said, God saves his anointed king. God saves his anointed. God's hand has been in your life the entire time. You continue to choose the other road. Man, brother, we might not have another one left. You know what I mean? We might not. We know people that have not made it. You made the statement about fentanyl. We know people that haven't made it. We know this. What's beautiful is that we get to share your hope and your inspiration today from all of that hurt and all of that pain. Brother, we are building strength through God. And that's the only strength that will carry us through. When I accepted, like you accepted in 2011, when I was at Lifer Builders, I didn't have a car. I didn't have a license. I had a gate fee. It got me a phone. I was okay with that. Like you're okay where you're at right now. That's such a blessing to hear because you're accepting where God has you. And before, I used to talk to you when you were in Bob's place before, and I remember the struggles. And I remember trying to tell you that God has you right where you need to be. But sometimes it takes our own mistakes for us to open our own eyes. That's where we get that gift that I talk about so much, that gift of hopelessness.
Yeah.
That's a gift, man. If we ain't hopeless and we ain't desperate, why would I listen to you to live a better way? I got it figured out, right? I knew I had it figured out for 27 years. I thought I did. In and out of the joint, just like you. Finally, it's when we say, you know what, man? I don't even know how to do it anymore. I'm going to let them. I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do because I don't know how to make it. That was, because I was scared to get out.
Yeah.
Your story is the same thing. You don't want to go back to that. You know that God has a purpose. God brought that little girl in your life, and I know that little girl. That little girl is special. Yeah. She is, and so is her brother.
Yes, they are.
They are two angels that have come to you and given you hope. Me and my wife were reading the Bible. My wife was reading the Bible last night to us. And she told a story of Jesus pointing at a child, saying, this is, you need to be like the least of these.
Yeah.
Right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not a scholar or a theologian, but I just remember that was brought up last night and you telling the story of Ella.
Yeah.
Man, brother, if God don't have, I mean, this is the stuff we look back on. We can't forget it when we struggle. So when we struggle, if we're struggling and continuing to struggle on the same thing, we need to look at that, because we really need to look at what we're struggling with and what we're doing, because a lot of the times it's an inventory that we need to take. And the thing is you have multiple mentors in your life now. You have set up a support network. Look, when we get done with this, we got comments and comments and comments. We've been running for about 50 minutes. Brother, you are called to tell your story. This is why I wanted you to come on here with me tonight to celebrate your recovery. 9 months. The longest recovery you've ever had, being free from prison or incarceration or, an in custody, a confined environment. Brother, that's a hallelujah. Praise God. Amen. A miracle. You're a miracle. Yeah. You are. And tonight you shared that hope, man, in front of a bunch of people. Tonight, someone was inspired by your story, because I know somebody, they might feel that same pain of getting picked on in school. I know I did. They might feel that same pain of not being able to say goodbye to their parents, right? They might have made the same choices that exiled them from their family. And listening to your story and how it it did a 360, and the power of forgiveness and redemption.
Yeah.
The revelations that we get when we look back, man, that's the stuff we can't forget about. How you can see the power of God telling you, hey, you talked to your mom this many times in prison.
Yeah.
I restored that for you.
Yeah.
Brother, that's a miracle. You are a miracle, and I am so damn proud of you. Thank you for coming on here and sharing your hope with me. That's what you guys don't realize. I love to see any of the homies make it out of that bullshit we used to call a life. That lie. We weren't dealing dope. We were slaves.
Yeah.
We were slaves.
Yeah.
We tricked off every dollar we had. For real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were talking about it backstage. In the dope game, you think that you move up in it, right? But really, you moving down. Down, 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 down. Yeah. You pollute more lives. You destroy more families with it. And you see that for what it is, Richie. And for that, I'm excited. Because when someone sees what they do on a larger scale, how it affects a community, how it affects a society, how it affects people's children that we don't even know. Somebody's ringing. Is that you, Rich? It's all good, man. We are rolling. It's alive, man. We do it. We let go and let God. Rob Fisher says, thanks, Richie. Hold on. We're going to start popping these up right now. Bam. Comment. Rob Fisher. Thanks, Richie. We got a John. That's my boy right there, John Healed. Amen, brother, to you. We got Brittany. Thank you so much, Richie Whaley. We have Jessica. What'd she say? She said, you are a miracle. Like Phil said. This is Megan. And we got tuning in live. Rise Up Recovery. Tiffany. I'm going to read it to you. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Good thing the live's over, right, bro? We're good.
Yeah.
Hey, Tiffany said, so proud of you, Richie Whaley. Your testimony is proof that we do recover and recovery is possible. Amen. This dude right here, you know Mike?
Yeah.
He was at the recovery event. He said, love you, brothers. Mike Kovacs.
Yep.
Christine Stoner. She says she loves us so much. People. Amen. Thanks for tuning in. Lindsay. Here's one of your here's somebody that you know. She's real proud of you. Remember we talked to her in the truck that one day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cassandra throwing up the heart and the praying hands. Here we go.
Yeah. And I just my brother.
This is important. We are all proud of you, brother. We love you. Don't ever forget that, Richie. You're an inspiration to many, Roxy says. Linda from back in the day says, amen. You remember Linda?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for tuning in, Linda. I am just rolling through the comments right now, trying to find some people we haven't hit. Got Chad O'Brien tuning in, telling you how proud he is of you. We got Nicole Bile saying she loves you, Richie. Good job. We even got an old friend.
Adrian.
Adrian, what up, girl? Here's another supporter of yours. She's been rooting for you the whole time, man. That's Misty. She a prayer warrior. I know she'd be praying for you. This is Sandy. She was just stopping in. She might not have been able to comment or something. But hey, Sandy, she wanted to show you some love, man. A lot of people are here showing you love, bro. Here's someone else. I wanted to show you that. Hey, man, we got to celebrate. We got to celebrate our lives. We need to celebrate and take wins in this thing, brother, because we beat ourselves up way too much. We definitely need to learn how to take a W. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're sharing your hope, your story, your inspiration, and we're celebrating 9 months of sobriety, which is a miracle, especially for someone like you, brother. They used to say that to me. I'm not kidding. That's they used to say that to me. Like, hey, man, if dude can change, anybody can change, right? We got another comment here from Shane. It's good to see you're doing well and healthy, bro. Praise God. We got another. Maybe I posted her already. We got my guy Joe. Joe might have you come on his live show as well. We got Joe. Joe's throwing up that strong, work them recovery muscles with the heart. Love you, Joe, man. Joe runs a little live and he runs a group. He also has a page just like this page called Dayton Strong Recovery 101, where people come on and share their experience, strength, and hope. He's out there. He's dealing hope. He's following along. He is leading the way with us that are shooting these lives and creating this content. He's rolling with us. That's my guy. He's supporting us. Love you, Joe.
Love you too, bro.
Mike Tapp. Happy Saturday, he says. So here's what I'm going to do. So the people that are watching right now, I'm going to look and I'm going to see who shared this live. And I'm going to see who shared it first. And I'm going to give away 5 hats if you want them. The first 5 people that shared this live. And when I do that, And when I check that, I'm just going to check, and I'm not going to, if someone shared it 5 times right away, obviously I'm not going to give them 5 hats. Everybody's going to have an opportunity to win. I appreciate you guys' share so much that I want to look back and see who shared this, and I want to give you guys some swag. The hats that I'm giving away are white on white with the blue logo. I'm giving away 5 of them. It was a surprise. I wanted to announce it at the end of the live. That way, you guys understand how grateful I am that you share this hope, because Richie wants to help someone tonight. I want his story to help someone tonight. And without your shares, that wouldn't be possible. So we appreciate it. We love you guys. You guys continue to do what you do and keep rocking recovery. We appreciate your shares, your view, your likes, all of your engagement and support on this page, because this page wouldn't be possible without people like yourselves sharing our hope. Anyway, we've been running for over an hour, so I will let Richie say a word or two, a message, and then we're going to let Richie go, and I'll close this out. But I want Richie, if he has any closing statement or words of wisdom for the audience tonight, I would like him to share that.
Okay. I just want to say that like we've made a lot, like us addicts and people, we've made a lot of mistakes, but we're not a mistake. Like everybody struggles. But whatever we bring to the light, darkness can't hold us. Just reach out, and just know that tears are healing. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel the emotions. If you don't feel them, how are you going to deal with them? You're not going to be able to get through them if you don't actually feel them. We numbed ourselves for so long that, we don't even know what the emotions are. Like I'm still feeling it. I still don't know. But I know that once you deal with them and you go through them, you just feel a lot better. And just know that somebody can walk you through it. God, man, I'm telling you, like he never leaves you. Yeah. And anybody out there struggling, or knows anybody struggling, just reach out to me. Like, you can reach out to me, because I'm here. I've been there, and I'll talk you through it. I'll sit on the phone with you for hours. I don't care. As long as you're safe and you can get through that night. Mental illness is key. Anybody dealing with it, get help for it. Whatever that looks like. I don't know if it's a therapist or reaching out to somebody that you really care about, or asking God or whatever it is, because that stuff's real and it's scary, but you don't have to deal with it alone, because when you're vulnerable, you realize that you're not the only one going through it. Other people are going through just exactly what you're going through, and there's strength in numbers. You can go through it together and overcome it. I just want to say thanks to the RCS Recovery Softball. Their Friday night softball league is like, what a perfect time to go play some softball on a Friday night. When you used to go out there getting high and using. Why not spend it with people in recovery and and just and have a good time, and network and meet some people, and Rise Up Recovery, Against All Odds, All In Ministries, everybody that helped me throughout my way. I just want to say thank you, and I love you. And anybody that I just reach out, and you're not alone, and I love you, and thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to hearing from you all, and I want to hear your story, because your stories inspire me too, and we all can relate with each other. But I love you. Thanks, Phil, for having me on, and you guys have a blessed night. Keep me in prayers, and I'll keep you guys all in prayers. Thank you.
I will, brother. Thank you for sharing your hope. I'm going to pull you off the screen and close us out. Thank you, man. You rocked it, man. God really showed up tonight. I appreciate you taking the time to share your hope with this page and myself, brother. You are a miracle. It's been said 100 times. There's a lot of people rooting for you here. on the comments. When we're done, hang out backstage. I'll be back as soon as I close us out, and then we'll talk, and then we'll go and we'll start responding to these comments, and we're going to start diving in. That's going to be fun. But I'll be right back. I'm going to pull you down. Wait up. All right? All right. All right, everybody. Richie's going to go behind the stage. Let's throw some hearts on this live. If you know how to throw them hearts, throw them likes, throw them cares on this live. Let him know that you're showing him some love, and we're going to peace him out and get him off the stage. We thank you guys for showing up and tuning in to another broadcast on this platform, Against the Odds. You guys continue to make this page possible with all your shares, your likes, your comments, and your encouragement. Because without your encouragement, I wouldn't be able to come on here every day and share my heart and share my words and share my insights without your support. We heard a great story tonight of compassion and love for a lost son. God had never turned his back on my boy Richie. Even though Richie turned away from God. If you turned away from God, you know from listening to Richie's story that God is waiting for you, and he has never left you, nor will he forsake you. If you're struggling tonight, reach out to this page. Send us a message. There's plenty of people, Richie included, that want to support you on your decision to make positive change in your life. We appreciate your views, your encouragement, especially to Richie, as we celebrate his 9 months of sobriety tonight, along with his story. What an honor to be able to be a part of that on this page with a good friend of mine. I know that heaven is rejoicing tonight because Richie spoke light into the darkness. Richie spread love instead of hate. Richie showed forgiveness instead of division. We shared hope tonight. You guys helped us. We are so grateful for that. I'm going to be live tomorrow morning, same time, around 8:30, 9 o'clock for a good morning live. I hope to see you guys then. Thank you for tuning in to another broadcast on Against the Odds with your boy, Phil Tyler. Thank you guys for all you do. My mission is simple: to spread hope to the hopeless. With your help, we can do that, and we can do that, and we can make an impact in someone's life. It happens all the time. You guys have a blessed night. Keep being rock stars and keep loving one another and supporting one another, because we're all in this together.